Geography is limited to our own maps, usually, but a geography lesson on the beyond could be useful now and again as well. We have this explanation coming back from the other side in the Purgatory manuscript. When asked where Sister so-and-so was, she heard this: in the Grand Purgatory, where she gets no one's prayers. God is often obliged to go against his wishes, if one can use such an expression, at the death of many a nun, because he had called these souls to himself, for them to serve him faithfully upon earth and go immediately after death to heaven to glorify him. On the contrary, what often happens is that they spend a long time in purgatory, a much longer period than people of the world who haven't had so many graces. That is a lesson unto us all, and also a help with regard to humility. For we who receive many graces are more exposed to abusing them. There's a whole world which we cannot see, and there, on the other side, it becomes visible, angels included. We see St. Michael as one sees angels. He hasn't a body. He comes to purgatory to fetch all the souls which have been purified. He's the one who leads them to heaven. And elsewhere she does explain that he is present when the soul leaves the body and is involved in carrying souls and is present at their judgment. Yes, it's true, he's among the seraphim, as Monsignor said. He is the first of the angels in heaven. Now, of course, that is the case since the fall of Lucifer. He was given greater power, Michael. Our guardian angels come to see us too, but St. Michael is so much more beautiful than they. As for the Blessed Virgin, we see her with her body. She comes to purgatory on her feast days and returns to heaven with many souls. While she is with us, our suffering stops. St. Michael comes with her, but when he's on his own, our sufferings continue as usual. And the soul goes on. When I spoke to you of the Grand Purgatory and of the Second Purgatory, it was in order to make you understand. What I meant by that was that there are different degrees in purgatory. Thus, I call Grand Purgatory the place in which are found those souls which are most guilty, where I remained for 2 years, without being able to give any sign of my torments. And then the year in which you heard my complaints. You know that I was still there when I began to speak to you. And elsewhere we learned that the lowest level of there, the Grand Purgatoire, is very close to hell and participates in some elements thereof, but of course without despair. It's a mercy of the Lord that some souls don't go just that bit lower. In the second purgatory, which is still purgatory, albeit different from the first, one's suffering is still great, but smaller than in the first. Last of all, there is a third place, the purgatory of desire. There is no fire there. In it are the souls which have not had a sufficiently great desire for heaven nor sufficient love for God. That's where I am at present. What is more, in these three purgatories there are many degrees. As the soul is progressively purified, it does not suffer the same torments. Everything is proportioned to the faults it has to expiate. And then she goes on to encourage her to shake off her faults and to explain how the retreat they have just made was pleasing to God, and how the retreat master was sent by Almighty God, and how such and such a priest should give teaching about interiority and purity of intention. This we can take on board, for we learn, amongst many things, that if our intention is to please the Lord alone, we are not unduly troubled by its apparent lack of effect, for we have done it purely for God. And there is an insistence on being united with God in every second of our existence. And on the other side, one realizes what a second is, for there they come no more. Jesus.